Yo, this is the Kirovets-1, a tank from 2017. This tank has been in the game files for a really long time. Well, it's finally here for the Trading Caravans event. This event, of course, you can buy this tank if it comes up in the Trading Caravan. Also a T22, maybe for credits, maybe for gold, who knows. The Kirovets-1 is with the black marble style, 2D style that will be included with the tank. I think, I'm not sure, it could be sold separately, I don't know. But anyway, here we are on highway. I'm taking up the sniper's position. I changed my mind. Instead of going straight into the city, that's because I see the ELC even taking up a good spotting position there, and so I'm setting up here to see if I can get one or two shots ahead of it. And I am not running hardening in my heavy tank. I am running a vertical stabilizer and an IRM to double up on my gun stability on the move. You can see how slow the aim takes there. I had faith in that shot to shoot in between those pillars there, but I did not make it. I have faith in my second shot and I made it and killed that Primo Victoria for 68 hit points and got the kill as well. And I'll lead this shot and fire one shot on the FV201 as well. There are a few good things about this tank and we will start talking about it right now. If you notice, the standard stock shell is APCR and the premium shells are heat, which means you have very high velocity on your standard shells, which is 1400 meters per second. If you can snipe from this distance and lead your shots, easier to lead your shots, you will hit your shots. The penetration is 221 on those APCR shells and 270 on the premium heat shells. Obviously, heat shells are going to fly slower, 820 meters per second, but you can pen almost any tier 9 tank with that 270 millimeters of penetration. Now I'm being a little bit aggressive here. I changed my mind again. Instead of going into the city cubbyhole, I decided to be aggressive and get in here because I saw the teammates are being aggressive as well. Get hit by RT twice, 3 times, and it's really putting a damper on my game here. I can't help it much because there's 3 RTs in the game. But yeah, if you're familiar with Soviet heavy tanks, this tank is comparable to an IS-5. In fact, I find it almost identical to an IS-5. That's because the standard penetration is 221 and the IS-5 also has standard APCR shells with the same shell velocity, 1400 meters per second, 390 alpha. Aim time is pretty similar as well, 2.97 seconds. The IS-5 has 3.07 seconds. The dispersion 0.43, the IS-5 0.44. Not very good dispersion, but that's predictable with heavy tanks, tier 8 heavy tanks anyway. The moving dispersion is what makes this suck a little bit. 0.24. IS-5 has 0.20 moving dispersions, so that is why I'm running the vertical stabilizer and the IRM. Of course, if you're playing really slow, I think a hardening equipment would be better in the hardening slot, but I want to try, just test it out a little bit here and see what happens. This is, I think, my second, maybe third game. I would not be upset if I had hardening, but I also don't mind the extra accuracy on the move with this kind of tank. I hit that charioteer there, but I hit him on the gun, so a little bit unlucky there, which is why I think to myself that IRM is not bad. If it's going to help me in situations like that where I can improve my accuracy a little bit, I don't mind playing with stacking an IRM and a vertical stabilizer with a tank like this. In any case, let's move on. The power to weight ratio 15.18, very similar to other heavy tanks in tier 8's IS-5, also 15.09. Object 252U or Defender 16.50, significantly slower and cumbersome heavy tank. But the 252U, remember, has a 440 alpha damage gun. The Kirovets armor profile, 140 millimeters frontally in the hull. This is significantly better than an IS-3, which is 110, an IS-5, which is 120, and an Object 252U or Defender at 130 millimeters hull armor. So the hull armor is pretty good here. You're going to see me bounce a couple of shots on the frontal hull, upper hull plate, upper frontal plate, or whatever you want to call it. But the turret armor is kind of weak, only 195 millimeters frontally, although you do have a bit of sloping action going on, but no match compared to an IS-3. IS-3 has 249 frontal turret armor, IS-5 has 201 frontal turret armor, and Object 252U Defender has 250 frontal armor. So although it has 195 millimeters of frontal turret armor, it is not very strong. A lot of standard shells will penetrate through the frontal armor if you can find the flat spots. If you shoot it on the cheeks, you could bounce, I suppose, but if you shoot around the turret ring just below the gun mantlet, where it's a little bit flatter, that is going to be a huge weak spot. You can almost penetrate the lower portion of the turret ring, or just below the gun mantlet. You could almost penetrate that with standard shells because the thickness is only 195. Oh no, Somua right in front of me bounced the first one, but I eat the second one, and now I need to try and chase him around here to see if I can get a shell on him. I want to wait for him to cross, but he's disappeared before he makes his crossing, and the Crusader hits me for 169. The thing with driving heavy tanks and 3 RT in game, RT is just the bane of your existence. 0.43 dispersion is not great on this gun, and yeah, that is one of the weaknesses of heavy tanks in tier 8s, but yeah, the strength of this tank is of course that APCR. I got no shot here, and I don't want to wait around to find out if RT can hit me, so I'm just going to back off here and try to get close to this building, away from any kind of RT direct hits. So I'm just trying to stay safe from RT here, and it looks like that KV-3 is going to approach the Somua sooner than me and get the killing shot, and now I am stunned again. And yeah, so the good thing about this gun is about the standard APCR shells with 221 penetration and 1400 meters per second. This means you can almost fire standard shells almost exclusively with this tank, which means as a premium tank you can earn more credits because you don't need to be firing that premium heat shells all the time. But if you're matched up against tier 9 or tier 10 tanks, then I suppose you do have to dab on that 2 key a little bit just to get a more secure penetrating shot, and perhaps save that game or help you win that game. This tank is not a super fast tank, although it has 42 kilometers an hour speed going forward and 20 in reverse. It is not spectacular. It does feel quicker than an Defender, it does feel quicker than an IS-3, but it is not that significantly quicker, so I wouldn't say, you know, there's a huge difference between the Kirovets and the IS-3 or the Defender. I get 2 more shots here on artillery. I get to kill both of them. I managed to repair with the medkit and save my last shot before I finish off that M12. 4 kills, 2,776 damage, blocked about 1,020 damage in this game. I only received the tank today, so I just managed to play 2 or 3 games in this tank, so get this video out for you straight away and my initial reaction video. Hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.